When you think about baseball, you probably think of the big baseball icons like Jackie Robinson, Derek Jeter, or people like Hank Aaron. These are all players that have had a huge impact on the game as we know it. I myself think of Babe Ruth. For me, I chose to do Babe Ruth because he is a famous baseball player. I grew up playing baseball and I am very familiar with the sport. Growing up, playing and watching baseball, I always looked up to people like Babe Ruth. At some point in your all's lives, I'm pretty sure most of you have probably picked up or thrown a baseball, or if you haven't, surely you've been to or watched a game on TV. Whether you're a Royals or a Cardinals fan, or whatever team it may be for that matter, baseball is America's pastime. To some people, Babe Ruth was considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He was thought to be because he broke records as well as set new ones, and he also raised popularity for the game. This is why I feel many people like me look up to him. To lead off, I will go further in depth on how Babe Ruth impacted baseball and also how he changed my love for the game. For many of you who do not know, Babe Ruth was a huge threat to Major League Baseball in the years 1920 to 1930. Practicing almost every day and introducing it into his games, he is widely known around baseball today. In his prime, Babe Ruth shattered records as well as set new ones. Babe Ruth was a home run hitter. In his 1927 season with the Yankees, he hit a 60 home run season, which was his personal best. In my little tyke years, when I heard stories about people like Babe Ruth setting records, it made me want to grow up and be just like them. Legends like him inspire me to do better things in baseball and also in my everyday life. A couple ways I feel like I lead by doing this is practicing in the off season and going the extra mile even when no one is there to watch. By doing things like this, I feel that it improves my work ethic and my game for when the season comes around. During times like these, Babe Ruth is changing people's attitudes around the world, and he will later go on to change the game. In these times when baseball was first becoming popular, Babe Ruth was a critical game changer. Other teams saw him as a major threat, and every pitcher was scared to face him. One way Babe Ruth did such a thing was by joining a team that hadn't had a very good record, for instance, and turning them around to win their first titles. Babe Ruth was first drafted to the Boston Red Sox in the years 1914 to 1919. Then he would later go on to play for the Yankees in the years 1920 to 1934. And this is when he was at his best. After this, Babe Ruth was considered a baseball icon. As all of this goes on, Babe Ruth starts to be world-renowned and was a big threat to all teams. One way I feel like I can relate to Babe Ruth is that we both have a strong passion for the game. Whenever I get the time, I am always down at the field working to better myself. Babe Ruth is one person that inspires me to do better in the game of baseball. Babe Ruth is widely known around baseball today, and one could say he was the foundation to baseball and brought it popularity. Throughout the years, I feel that baseball has helped me develop a better work ethic. Hearing about all the great things famous ball players have done, like Babe Ruth, gives me a better drive and motivation to do better in this. If it wasn't for Babe Ruth today, I don't feel like I would have such an interest in baseball like I do now. Another way I myself look up to Babe Ruth is that he was a pitcher, just like I am myself. He was also a left-handed pitcher, just as I am too. Although I know I will never be as good as Mr. Ruth, I like to push myself just to see how close I can get. I feel like Babe Ruth and I relate in a lot of ways, as we are both left-handers and we both take such a huge pride in baseball. Overall, Babe Ruth was a huge key to baseball. He broke and set new records that still inspire people today. I also feel that Ruth brought popularity to the sport and gave people an all-around better work ethic and attitude towards life. If it wasn't for him, I don't feel that baseball would be as big as it is today. One famous quote that I enjoy from him is, "I swing big with everything I've got. I hit big or I miss big. I like to live big." Thank you.